Welcome to the Pink Lady Posse podcast, where women over 50 take a fresh look at living, toss out tired stereotypes, and say a big heck yes to what's next. I'm your host, Sandy Parker, and around here, we challenge limitations, rewrite the story on aging, and reclaim our power, pleasure, and purpose. Why? Our next years are not about a decline. They are our big reveal. Sandy Parker Martinez, often called Sandy Parker, and I am here with Leslie Kane. And Leslie, in my mind, is one of those people that runs the world.
Okay.
She
That's a
looks
big thing on my shoulder.
she looks nice and all, but why not today is a movement. It's what matters to her. So welcome, Leslie.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Tell me what why not today means and how did it happen and what is it all about?
Okay. Well, I'm happy to share that. Well, thank you again for having me on here. And I love sharing about why not today and taking action.
Mhm.
And so it really is about taking courageous action. I always say the mission of Why Not Today, the Why Not Today movement is to live your life, to be brave and pursue your dreams. Like we're not promised tomorrow. And you know what? We need to live. And so it all came about, and this totally aligns with your pink colors and pink theme
Yeah.
is I just celebrated my 31st year in Mary Kay Cosmetics. Um,
Pink.
I know, and quit my corporate job 26 years ago. And so for the last 26 years, I've had a Mary Kay career. And then because I don't have enough going on, and I'm not going to run the world, so take that off the plate. But I started this podcast. It started as a podcast. It started was I call Why Not Today moment. It's that moment in time you have that thought, that idea, and you take action, and it totally pivots your life. And so we all have lots of them. It was 2021, maybe. I was walking with a friend who had a podcast. I was a guest on her podcast at one point. I'm like, I want to do a podcast. She's like, you should. Scared to death. No idea what, how, anything about it. But it was back in my mind. Didn't do anything with it. Fast forward a couple months, another Why Not Day moment. I remember exactly where I was. And somebody posted something on a social media site I don't ever go on about my dad. And my dad passed away in 2013 and left a pretty significant legacy. And I always wanted to do something to honor him. And so he was a character, and he had, from a high school car accident, he had only one eye. So he always wore an eye patch, and he had a handlebar mustache. And so this gentleman went on the social media site, and he had some surgery. So he was wearing an eye patch. And he said every morning he woke up, looked himself in the mirror, thought of his old friend Pat Kane, my dad, and talked about all the things he did. And he said, we both said, why not today? And so that just stuck. And I told my friend another moment, I remember exactly where I was. And she's like, well, that's the name of your podcast, and you just need to do it. So I literally recorded the first episode on a Friday and posted it on Saturday. I don't edit any of them purposefully because that is part of the message. You just got to do it. My first episode was March 5th, 2022, which happened to be my dad's birthday and the day he
Oh,
passed. And he passed away the same day. So I'm like, that's got to be the date. I would say I don't procrastinate. I am deadline driven. So it was just talking to people about courage. And so I just was having fun, learning new things every other week. And about a year and a half in, I'm like, so I went to every week and then took the scary step and started an LLC that January of 2024. And realized in doing that Mary Kay did so much, and there's so much culture, community. They do it all. And when I started my own business separately, it's like I didn't know what I didn't know. And talking to women, I kind of found the same thing. So, women entrepreneurs. And so I started a luncheon called Why Not Today Connects, just to build community connection. It's not your traditional networking. Did some coaching, did some workshops, some masterminds. And then finally, kind of my sweet spot is I started something called Why Not Today Inner Circle, and is supporting female entrepreneurs and growing businesses. Or just I've got one person's writing a book. I have somebody retired. She is her business. And so, I don't know if you've noticed this since COVID, people are kind of unsettled. And I don't know if it's COVID or it's the age that I'm surrounding myself with, that people are just like, what's next? You know, you're too early to retire, but you're at age you possibly could. People like keep asking me if I'm going to retire. I'm like, Heck no, I just started another business. But I live in the DC area, and literally people have clocks on their desk that is a countdown clock till the minute they can walk out the door and retire.
Oh, how
And that
terrible is
just
that?
breaks my heart. Like, I love what I do, and I could work 24/7 because I love it and have fun with it and want to make a difference and have people take action. And it's not perfect, but it's action, and
So,
courageous action.
one of my favorite phrases is liminal space. Liminal space, it means threshold in Latin. That means between what you know and the next, what you're sure of. There's this space, the messy middle.
Yep.
And what's funny is people go, oh, well, you must be in a big transition to do that. I'm
No.
like, have you ever created something? Have you ever said, I'm going to do that and take a step? You run smack dab into the messy middle.
And I think that's entrepreneurship. And I think people, and this is what we're talking about now in my podcast, is we're talking about the messy middle. We're talking about the journey that you see people like that have huge companies and even little companies that are successful. And you see they had an idea and then they're making $1 million. Well, they had an idea that probably changed and developed tons of times, and it is not the original idea. And I found that with talking to a lot of people, like where you start and where you finish are completely different. And it's a roller coaster, and it's a daily roller coaster. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is a personal growth opportunity that if you're not willing to take, then don't bother. Somebody recently said, it's not A to Z, it's A to B and B to C and C to D. It's step after step. And then you might go D to B again.
I was
And
going to say it's Z to A backwards.
but you got to figure it out. And I think that's one thing I did right is I still have a career in Mary Kay that's paying bills. And so I was able to like take time. Like I didn't say, "Oh my gosh, I started the podcast today. I have to have a website before I start." No, I started. And that's the one thing I find a lot of people do is they're doing all the stuff so they don't have to start. Like get the Facebook page and the LinkedIn. And I even talked to somebody recently and she set up her Yelp account. She doesn't even have an LLC yet. Like, and sometimes are those procrastination things or they fear, so I'm going to do all the comfortable things because I don't want to put myself out there because once you do, you know,
Well, it's
people know.
ironic. My mother was a Mary Kay lady all my life,
That's so
right? So
fun.
I grew up with Mary Kay, and I know that she had support. Like
Oh,
they had weekly meetings and they had, promotional things done for them. So here's my question. Without that kind of support, what's the likelihood you'll arrive at your best or your mediocre without how important is that support?
it's so important. And I think people try to do it on their own. And ironically, my inner circle program is really structured out of after a Mary Kay success meeting. Mary Kay started them for women in business she always said, if you're having a really good week, come and encourage somebody else. And if you're having a really bad week, come and get encouraged. And so I think we need that. And honest, somebody in my inner circle has been a coach for 20 years and she joined. She goes, I have had businesses fail because my ego got in the way. I thought I could do it all myself. And so we need that support. So I call it lateral mentoring and
Mm.
it's sharing ideas. Businesses are completely different. Yet I had somebody years ago tell me he sold submarines and I sold lipstick. And he said the only difference between you and me is commas and zeros. And so that just stuck with me. Like, you and I have different businesses, and you mentioned that a conversation we had encouraged you to take next steps. And when you talk with energizing, like-minded people, and you're in the same room, you walk out energized, more creative, more excited. And, we both talked about starting this call a little tired. And I honestly, 10 minutes in, I'm like, I don't need a nap anymore. I'm good.
I know, me too. Well, and you were so inspirational that day. And I want to just say something. I was authentic and I was real.
And that's what we need to be.
And I said, I don't have the offers. I don't have a structure for revenue development. And so, had I not just been real and said, this is where I really am, what you got to say back to me would not have been said. So, it's kind of like speak it out, let someone meet you out in the middle, and you can be encouraged, but not if you keep it to yourself. Say, I want to look good. I'm not going to tell Leslie Kane that I don't have an offer I like because then she might think this and that. I'm like, you know what? I'm working on my offers because I don't really like that, but now I love them.
Well,
And
and
you
we need
set
those
that up
men.
for me.
Yay, I'm so excited. And we need those mentors and we need the people. And I know for me, Mary Kay has a great culture, great structure of mentors. And I can distinctly remember many times where I was just having a crappy day. And the last thing I wanted to do was call my mentor and
Mhm.
or listen to a positive tape, or at that point tape was a long time ago, or get some call to get some help. And I knew when I was resisting it, then that's when I needed to do it. So
Mhm.
I think it's that awareness, identifying when, okay, I need to reach out to somebody. I need, to stop and think and like, okay, who can I reach out to? And there's so many people that want to help us. And there's so many resources out there, but you just got to ask and find them. And then, ask other people, where do you find them?
Well, I love that word circle because everybody is sort of there for each other no matter what they're doing. Like you said, somebody's writing a book. Somebody, you know what? I can't hear your dog. Is your dog barking?
She was.
Oh,
And her newest thing is she's decided she wants to eat her bed. So
oh.
yeah, she started that yesterday. So
So,
this is
but the
this is
thing,
authentic in real life. I'm throwing things at her.
well, you know what? I was telling my mentor I have today that I just got back from doing my TEDx talk, which was amazing. And on the way home on the Hertz rental car van, I fell and busted my tuchus.
Oh no.
And it was
Are you
like,
okay?
yeah, I'm fine. But it was sort of like, I wanted to end on a high note, like it was the
Aw.
coolest week. But she goes, you know what's crazy is that all the good and all the not what we had planned lives in the same world.
Yep. And what
I
are you
mean,
going to remember?
well, and the beautiful thing was my three daughters got to come be with me at the TED Talk and my
Oh,
husband.
that's so fun.
So we did a you did it party, and it was like not since my wedding have they all come running to be with me. So I'm like, it was so
Aw.
fun.
That's fun.
So, how important is getting into action in terms of the well being of a woman's mind?
Oh my gosh, it's so important. And I use the exercise as a good example. Like I used to teach water aerobics. And so when you want to exercise, there's something you want to do. And like you wake up in the morning, like, I'm going to go exercise. And then you don't. And all day long, what do you think about? I should have, I would have, I could have. You beat yourself up. But then if you do, how great do you feel? And so I think what we do without action is we blow it up in our head. Like one of the things I've had on my to-do list is update my voicemail. And it took me a year and 3 minutes to do it. A year to think about it and 3 minutes to do it. And
I
so
love
how much
that.
time do we waste thinking about doing something? We spend more time thinking about it than it does to actually do it. So just take that action. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's
Mhm.
okay. You're going to make it better.
In my TED talk, I have this phrase about it's called dullness tax.
Okay.
When your life feels like beige, but your heart wants fuchsia,
I love that.
and every day you put it off and you put it off, it just starts to get beige.
Yeah, it does.
And that
And
is
then
no,
and it lose you lose your confidence. I have somebody else in the inner circle that has not worked for a year. She joined the inner circle to give her confidence back because she hasn't been in the workforce and there were some other issues and a loss of parents and things, but her confidence was shot. And so just in the calls we talk every week about what's your win. And honestly, a couple weeks in, she got a job. Now, it was not because of the inner circle, but I think her mindset shifted. Like she said, I've had all these great interviews, and every time I think it's wonderful, I don't get it. So I'm not expecting anything. I'm like, all right, we need to switch that. Like, okay, this is going to be the time. And I asked her, I said, who is the first person you're going to call when you get that offer? And she's like, I hadn't thought about that. And she's like, it's going to be you. Like at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, I got a text from her. Like, I just got the offer. But
Uh,
yeah, so she just started a new job. But I think, we need to take the action. We need to believe it. And it's the little steps we take, the little actions, they build up courage. So it's kind of like a drop in a bucket. One or two isn't going to make a difference, but the more you do, the more your confidence is going to grow.
well, I remember a girlfriend, she ended up being one of my best friends, but in Sunday school, every week she would say, y'all, please pray I get a job. Please pray I get a job. I mean, this went on for a long time. So one day I said, okay, I am going to pray for you every day till you get a job. But more than that, I'm going to send you jobs I think would be good.
Right.
And I'm going to loan you my belief in you until you have it also.
Which is something Mary Kay taught. Like, I'm going to believe in you until you can believe in yourself. Have you heard the story about the helicopters in the boat?
Yeah. I sent you a helicopter. Tell the story because it's a great story.
So this guy was drowning and he's like, God's going to save me. And so here comes a boat. And he's like, nope, God's saving me. And he sends the boat away. And then a helicopter comes and sends the helicopter away. God's saving me. And he dies, goes to heaven. And he's like, why didn't you save me? He said, I sent you a boat and I sent you a helicopter. Pay attention to those things. And yeah, the people are out there and your friend, yes, praying helped and action helps. Like,
I,
you got to take the steps. You can't just sit in your house and pray that something's going to change without making any action.
well, and she would say, well, I really want a pharmaceutical rep job. I'm like, but you don't have that background. She got herself in a pickle of her own making. And
Which we
that's
usually do.
where I'll do it, be the first one. That's where, if Leslie says to me, when I said, I don't like my offer, you go, well, fix it. I was like, well, it's not that easy. So it sort of broke through. And that's why I like the idea of pausing and not walking through life sleepwalking, because the answer you need is right there. Like you were the answer I needed that day.
And you have to be open to it. And so just like our connection, like I don't even, we met somewhere online on Facebook. I just pay attention to those nudges, those God winks, those connections. Like if I feel the energy of somebody, then you know what? I'm just going to follow the lead, and you just never know who that person is going to lead you to. And if you go back to some of the people you know and some of the people in your life, and you can go back to how many, how did you come about meeting that person? How many steps of people was it? Were it, you know,
Well,
I just got a new assistant that's going to help me. She lives in North Carolina. I'm in Virginia, and it is because of a million layers of somebody I met 40 years ago.
wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about something I wanted to say and then I just forgot it. But
Yep.
let me see. You were talking about, oh, my mentor this morning. She said, so I had the TED Talk coming up and I was super nervous. I gotta say, I was
I
like,
give you credit. That scares me to death.
it was really scary. And I've spoken a lot of places, but the cameras and all, I was just like, okay, so I thought, what could I do to make it easier for me? And I set up a Zoom call with the other speakers. And I said, if anybody wants to meet each other, time, date, place, hop on. Two people showed up. Then I sent an email to the group and I said, I'm going to be there a day early. If anybody wants to have lunch, come have lunch with me. These two adorable women came. So by the time I was at the TED Talk, I actually felt affiliated with half of the group speaking. So it was just taking little steps of action that made a big difference in
Well,
the end.
and the other thing you did is, and I try to do this with my message in my podcast, is to give people hope, and me too. Like they were probably as terrified as you were. So both
Oh,
You to say out loud, I'm scared, gives them hope and permission to be scared.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that hope and permission is so important. And when we act like we have it all together and we don't, then you never know who's going to watch your story and you're going to encourage.
Well, I'm a member of a LinkedIn group, and I really don't like LinkedIn. I mean, I should, but I'm more of a tea party type. Let's all meet on Zoom, or let's all meet on Facebook. But this group, after about 6 months, she said, "Well, what do you want to get out of this group?" And I'm like, I'm basically paying for friends with amazing women.
Hmm.
Because the women in this group, I have the most respect for, whether I'm doing LinkedIn or not.
Right.
So I know once a week, every week, I'm going to be connected with bright women who are up to something. And that gives my life a structure, which I think is important, but also the people I'm surrounded by elevate my life. So,
Oh, absolutely. We need to surround ourselves. And that's one of my prayers is that I'm surrounded by energized and inspiring people and that I can energize and inspire other people, make an impact.
so tell me, well, I want to know something juicy.
Uh-oh.
Tell me, I know, tell me the biggest mistake you ever made.
Ah.
And it was funny because it froze right then, which is like maybe the internet doesn't want you.
Yeah.
But I'm
Gosh, what's a
like
mistake? I
something
mean, I
you,
made a million.
well, you look
Um,
back and you go, oh, that was a great mistake. I did it up.
gosh, I don't know. That's
It's okay.
Yeah, I never thought about that. I mean, I've had lots of little things, and one thing I say is you got to consistently keep showing up. I've gone and done appointments that were awful, and I'm like, why did I do that? And done events and things, and you decide, okay, I'm not doing that again. So I think you learn.
Mhm.
That's a good
Well,
question.
it was an intentional thing, but I left Southern Living Magazine without another job. It was my job, car, territory. It was fabulous. But I realized that if I don't get out of Southern Living, I love Southern Living, but Southern Living doesn't love me back.
Mm.
If I don't get off of this happy ride, I'm going to miss getting married and having a baby, which was really what I wanted to do. So I was on a track. It was a great track, but it wasn't going where I wanted to go.
And I think we need to be able to realize that, have time to think and say, okay, this is a pivot and I'm going in a new direction. Looking at bad times in the world that I went through with Mary Kay, like September 11th, I live in DC and there were jets flying over my house by the water treatment plant. There were tankers.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, how do you call someone and say, do you want to buy lipstick? But I called people to build connections. COVID happened. I could have quit, gotten a job, but I was like, I got to figure out something new. So we moved to virtual. So I think I am a problem solver.
Mhm.
My dad was like, it's figure outable. We'll find a way. Um,
I love
but
that figure outable. Well, I love what you're up to.
well, thank
And I know you know Mel Robbins. Is it Mel Robbins?
you.
Yeah,
I don't know her. I wish I knew her, but
I know.
I know
Well,
who she is.
I went to a convention and she was the speaker, and it was back when she was talking about you have 5 seconds to make a move.
Yep.
And that really hit me in terms of following a prompting. If I have an idea, like the day we met, and I said, "You're awesome. Let's do a podcast." I mean, it's either on or it's off. I'm a
Yeah.
yay or a nay. But if I'm a yay, I'm in it.
I tell people often, I'm like, be careful, you're my new best friend. Like, I don't go away. And I tell people, don't invite me because I show up.
Well, I was reading through an old Facebook group I had, and there was a post on there I love by Katie Byron. It says, "Don't be careful. You could hurt yourself."
Mm, so true.
Right? Like we just think it through. I like what you said about doing all the bells and whistles to avoid the real action.
Yeah. Again, training Mary Kay consultants, it's like you get your products, you polish them, you organize your office, but you don't pick up the phone and call anybody. Like we got to sell something. Don't do your website before you have a customer. Like, you got to take so many people I've talked to, three in particular, the day we talked, they had the idea of a business, but they didn't have an LLC. And by the end of that day, they text me and it's like, I have my LLC. Like, it's just, it's not going to be perfect, and your logo is going to change, your website's going to change, and your business idea is going to change. But if you never start, you will never succeed.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for being with me because I'm inspired by you, which you know. I was put in action because of what you told me.
Yay.
And I love being in action. But okay, so here's the deal. Now I have an offer, right? I love it. The
Can't
month
wait to
of
see it.
December. Now,
Okay.
how many people have I personally called? Well, I made a landing page and I have a Google.
Oh, I think I'm stepping on some toes. Well, and it's interesting with my inner circle. I have somebody in the program that keeps sending me people. And I'm like, you're so much better at selling it than I am, because she's in
Great.
it. She sees the advantage, and it's no skin off her back. Like, back to again, the Mary Kay recruiting people. Like, it was much easier to recruit or sell for your customers than for my own.
Yeah,
But okay, so I challenge you. When
I
you put your
know.
when you put your head on the pillow on December 31st, 2025, how many people would you have talked to about your offer?
I will say 150 people. And the reason is I want 50 participants.
Okay. That's a lot of people.
I got a lot of people. Do you know how many people, like when I said I'm doing a TED talk, I have 82 people that said, yay. So I got 82 right there to go.
Well, you've
Thanks for,
encouraged me to reach out to more people in my inner circle. So thank you for that. I think I
yeah.
have to, listen to my own advice and reach out to more people.
Well, I see them go by and I go, oh, I should send them a message. I should send, and I'm going, okay, now I have an offer. I'm excited about it. It's happening in December. I don't even have to go make a list. They're in my comments on my Facebook pages.
All right. I can't wait to see. You got to let me know.
I will. I'm going to put it on my calendar today, December 31.
Okay. Reach out to me.
Ta-da! What do you want to do by December 31?
I want to have 30 people in my inner circle. We're at 14 now, so I want to double it by then. I know that's a big goal, but it's so doable.
And how many people will you have to talk to have 14? Do you know?
So far, it hasn't been many. Like, my first 12 probably said yes. First 12 I talked to said yes. My coach said, okay, you realize now you have to increase your prices, which I did. And so people are saying no, which is good, because I don't want everybody in it. I want to be
Oh, for
selective.
sure. Well, and you can, as you go, just send me a little text that said 4 in, and
Yeah.
I'll send you a little text that said 12 in.
Okay. So I think I need to talk to twice as many as, so if I want 15 more, 16 more, I need to talk to 32 people.
I think so.
All right. I'm going to create
Well,
a board.
thank you for being my action partner. So that
Absolutely.
why not today is not just a nice message. It's a lifestyle of why not today being real.
Yeah. Be you.
Because you want it to be a movement, right? And why do you want it to be a movement?
Because I want other people to take action. My really big, hairy, audacious goal is life is good as a mantra, just like, no, why not today is a mantra, just like life is good.
Yeah, and why not?
And I had on my podcast one of the owners of, now retired, of Life is Good. Like, somebody put him in my path and he was on my podcast. So
The shirt
that wasn't by
company?
accident. The shirt company, yeah.
I have a life is good too. I probably have
Of
more
course
than
you
one.
do.
What a
Yeah.
great message. Well,
Yeah.
I'm behind you all the way. I'm
Thank
tracking
you.
with you. Thanks for being with me today. And we'll see you on the accountability sheet.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Thanks for being with me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Pink Lady Posse Podcast, where women go from what now to what's next. Come join us at pinkladyposse.com, where we share community, resources, and tools to support your next beautiful chapter. With love, light, and a little lipstick. See you next time.